Hello everybody, it's Anna and welcome back to my booktube channel. This is going to be the third and final video in this kind of mini series that I have been doing about books for Disability Pride Month. So if you have not watched my video about the PEN America report on the 10% of banned and challenged books in the US featuring characters who are disabled, or my book recommending picture books and books for young readers featuring disabled characters and authors, I will make sure those are linked in the description so you can watch those as well. I know that we're kind of getting towards the end of the month, so I have no illusions that I'm actually going to be able to get through all of these books by then, but we read with disability pride all year round around here. So I have 4 books that are written for an adult audience to share with you today, and I'll just be choosing from these in the weeks and, months to come for the rest of the summer. So the first one is also one of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is Moving Mountains, Writing Nature Through Illness and Disability. It is an anthology edited by Louise Kenward with a foreword by Samantha Walton. So we'll just read the back here. A first-of-its-kind anthology of nature writing by authors living with chronic illness and physical disability. Through 25 pieces, the writers of Moving Mountains offer a vision of nature that encompasses the close-up, the microscopic, and the vast. From a single falling raindrop to the enormity of the north wind, this is nature experienced wholly and acutely, written from the perspective of disabled and chronically ill authors. Moving Mountains is not about overcoming or conquering, but about living with and connecting, shifting the reader's attention to the things easily overlooked by those who move through the world untroubled by the body that carries them. As somebody who is a disabled hiker, swimmer, athlete, all of that jazz, I am so excited to read this book. The outdoors is varying levels of accessible or inaccessible for many disabled people, particularly depending on what your disability is. And I don't think I have read anything that was like this for disabled people about nature. The closest thing I can think of is the Disabled Hikers website is publishing the Disabled Hikers Guide 2, and then it's like a geographic area. So there was a Washington State one, and I don't remember what else they've published. And that's a great book and a great resource, but it was definitely more of a how-to and accessibility guide. This is just more of like nature writing and essays, which I love as a nature person myself. So can't wait for this one. Next, we have a book that was published last year, which is Beautiful People, My 13 Truths About Disability by Melissa Blake, who is also an incredible follow on social media. Let's read this blurb here. In the summer of 2019, Melissa Blake faced the worst of what the internet has to offer, a troll brutally commenting that she should be banned from posting pictures of herself. Undaunted, she took to social media and defiantly posted 3 smiling selfies, all taken during a lovely vacation in the Big Apple. Quote, "Of course I knew that posting those selfies wasn't going to erase the nasty names I've been called, and the chances were that those trolls would never even see my tweet. But that didn't matter. I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for me and every single disabled person who has been bullied before, online and in real life. When people mock how I look, they're not just insulting me, they're insulting all disabled people. We're constantly told that we're repulsive and ugly and not good enough to be seen. This was me pushing back against that toxic ableist narrative," end quote. Her tweet went viral, attracting worldwide media attention and interviews, and an activist was born. Now Blake shares her truths about disability, writing about everything from the language we use to describe disabled people to her own struggles with self-image and self-acceptance. She shares how to be a good ally, which does not include painting disabled people as tragic heroes, but does include understanding the ways that society is structured to their detriment. Introducing other heroes of the disability justice movement, activists, and influencers, Beautiful People is a masterclass in taking back your power, changing the narrative, and sparking new and better conversations about disability. I remember when she published this book and came out with it, and I just wasn't able to get to it last year when it came out. It was a new release and the waiting list was way too long. So I'm very happy that my library had this on display for Disability Pride Month because now I have it. Yay! This next book was on display and I had never heard of it before. This is I Live a Life Like Yours, very different, a memoir by Jan Gru. He is apparently, let me see, yes, and it's translated by B.L. Crook. He is a Norwegian writer of fiction, nonfiction, children's books, and academic literature, and a professor at the University of Oslo. This is his story about his life. So yes, translated from Norwegian. So here we go. This is a quote from him. "I am not talking about surviving. I am not talking about becoming human, but about how I came to realize that I had always already been human. I am writing about all that I wanted to have and how I got it. I am writing about what it cost and how I was able to afford it." End quote. Jan Gru was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy at the age of 3. His story unfolds as he sifts through his youth with his parents and sister in Norway, his years of study around the world, and his current life as a professor, husband, and father. Interspersed among these memories are elegant, astonishingly wise reflections on the world, social structures, disability, loss, relationships, and the body. In short, on what it means to be human. I Live a Life Like Yours is a love story. It is rich with loss, sorrow, and joy, and with the details of one life. It is a story about accepting one's own body and limitations and learning to love life as it is while remaining open to hope and discovery. Can you tell I'm a memoir person? So that sounded interesting. Looking forward to checking it out. I really have no idea what to expect, but it seems like he's had a really interesting life. So why not? And then last, this was a book that I found because of the virtual display that the library did for Disability Pride Month, and this is American Breakdown: Our Ailing Nation, My Body's Revolt, and the 19th Century Woman Who Brought Me Back to Life by Jennifer London. And I cannot remember how I first found out about Jennifer London, because I know that it was somewhere that wasn't this book, but I can't for the life of me remember. So let's just go to the blurb. A silent spring for the human body, this wide-ranging, genre-crossing literary mystery interweaves the author's quest to understand the source of her own condition with her telling of the story of the chronically ill 19th century diarist Alice James, ultimately uncovering the many hidden health hazards of life in America. When Jennifer London became chronically ill after moving from Canada to Maine, her case was a medical mystery. Just 21 years old, unable to hold a book or stand for a shower, she lost her job and consigned herself to her bed. The doctor she went to for help told her she was just depressed. After suffering from this enigmatic illness for 5 years, she discovered an unlikely source of hope and healing: a biography of Alice James, the bright, witty, and often bedridden sibling of Henry James, the novelist, and William James, the father of psychology. Who knew? Alice suffered from a life-shattering illness known as neurasthenia, now often dismissed as a fashionable illness. In this meticulously researched and illuminating debut, London follows the threads of connection between her own experience and Alice's, exploring the history of medicine and the effects of the Industrial Revolution and late-stage capitalism to tell a riveting story of how we are a nation struggling and failing to be healthy. Although science and the politics behind its funding has in many ways let London and millions like her down, in the end, the discoveries of her investigation offer a revelation that will change how readers think about the ecosystems of their bodies, their communities, the country, and the planet. So this is a pretty ambitious one. This is also by far the longest book that I have here, so this may not all get read in one single library loan. Let's see. And I also don't know if this book is about like ME/CFS, which is a disability that is connected to things like post-viral illness and long COVID, and it's something that's very under-researched and it's not well understood at all, just because we don't have a lot of research on it, and because since it has in the past seemed to affect mostly women, it's also been deemed just sort of like nerves or depression, or it's all in your head. So I don't know if that's what this book is actually about, but I'm sure it's going to talk about the research around that particular disease. So it'll be a while, but I will report back on that one eventually. So those are all of the books that I have picked out for this Disability Pride Month and beyond. If you are interested in reading any of these, or you have a favorite disability-related book that you would like to share in the comments below, please do let me know. As I said in the video that was about kids' books, I would like the comment section to be a community resource for people who want to be exposed to more books by disabled writers or featuring disabled characters. Ideally both, if we can get it. That would be super awesome. And yeah, if you're interested in getting any more of these recommendations, both myself and Erin and Lily have made a bunch of disability readathon related videos and playlists on our channels, so I'll make sure to share the channels in the description box. As always, thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.